In just 1 week, I'm going to be moving to Thailand, and I'm leaving behind everything in New York. And there are a lot of reasons, and I guess I'll just go into it. And I'll just preface that this video is completely unscripted, where I literally ran to get this sunset and it looks like I fucking missed it. So the reason I'm leaving is because my business is online. So I figured I could make money while I travel. And like one of the reasons, like of course, cost of living there is so nice. I'll be living pretty well for like way less than New York, which is ridiculous. But also, I just wanted an excuse to travel and meet other manufacturers. So I guess I'll just show some clips in this video of what I'll miss in New York. But I'm pretty excited. It was last second, like I booked this 3 weeks ago, just a one-way ticket. And I'm hoping I'll get to go to Asia. So I'll see like Japan, Vietnam, I'll go back to Singapore. But I just want to make this video, I guess, to document everything in New York. So I didn't travel at all this summer. I was just working the whole time, which was worth it because, you know, I got to save up and obviously I'll get to enjoy that money overseas. But I'm not too worried about that. Like everything I make is online. So if I just do remote work, that will cover most of my expenses. And I guess I'll say how I got into this. 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago in the summer, I created uniformity, ditched an internship, and I figured like I'd rather have the degree of freedom than just be working for money. But of course, part of it is money. Like you can't have financial freedom without having good finances. And I know there are a lot of creatives, a lot of people unsure what to do. God fucking damn this city, bro. This city is ridiculous. So if you have like a creative passion or a talent or even a good taste for something, I think you could make it. And not only that, you'd be living a life that's pretty fulfilling and you'd be doing what you want. Like with uniformity, the past 2 years are the best 2 years of my life. And I think part of that is just because of the work. Like I've always done school, but I hated school. That's part of why I'm traveling. I figured I've been in school like 18 years. It's time to actually do some shit. But if you have your own sort of work and your own thing you're in control of, like it's fun. Rather than just having goals, it's like you have projects to work on. Like for me, that would be clothing drops and doing designs for other brands and stuff like that. But whether you're like a musician or you're good at drawing, you could always bring that into reality. Everything comes from within the mind, and from the mind, you bring it to the real world. Like people talk about but I think manifestation is just having an idea, holding on to it, and then maybe having an actionable plan to make it come to fruition. So I'm not gonna say like I've manifested everything I dreamed of, but I will say that I've manifested or I've brought into reality many of my goals and many things which I wished for. And one of that was going to Thailand or going to Asia in general. Like I'd never been to Asia until last year. And 2 years ago, I decided I want to drop out and move to Asia and just meet the manufacturers and live around. But I was on scholarship, so it wasn't realistic. Like it would have been a smack in the face to my parents also, which I know isn't a good reason. But beyond that, I figured I've already done 2 years. I may as well stick out the degree and at least learn something new. And I'm happy I did that because through college, I was able to meet lifelong friends. I was able to meet like truly great people. And not only that, I think the community you're in shapes how you become. So luckily, I think it's rare to find like-minded creatives. It's not easy to do, but luckily I was able to find a good group, a good crowd, and I think that sort of helped me grow. But of course, when you're doing school and everyone wants to party, like a lot of shit does get in the way of your goals. I could say that if I didn't go clubbing as much as I did, or if I didn't like party and just have a good time, I probably would have been way further because, you know, you have to sacrifice to get further. And I've been thinking about it, like, do I regret that? And I don't think I regret that at all. Even though it would have been cool to be in a different place right now. But I've said this before, like I feel like everything happens as it should. And I feel like I'm where I need to be right now. And beyond that, I'm happy for the memories I've made and the people I've met. Like, that's something truly invaluable. And everything you see online in this like culture is about grind, grind, grind. And I think the grind is important. Like the most important is what you do when nobody sees you. Like there was a summer where I was just straight up grinding designs. I was literally overseas and I stayed up for 30 hours cooking designs. And I really wanted the gig. So I did, I think, 30 or 40 designs in that span of like 2 days. And the worst part is I had like food poisoning, I had sun poisoning, but it's part of the grind. But I think beyond that, people don't talk about the balance. And to get far, I do believe you need to go through periods of unbalance. Like part of my philosophy is balance through extremes. But I think it's so easy to get caught up with like all the noise in the world and like what I need to do, this, that, this. And you literally forget to live in the moment. And at the end of the day, everything happens in the now, in the present. Like the work you do, that's something you could only do now. If you could say I'll do it tomorrow, but the only time you ever have is now, like living in the moment. So beyond that, I think beyond just grinding, you know, we have to appreciate what we have and be grateful, because everything we have, we take for granted. The only reason we want something is because we don't have it, which makes you think like, oh, so there are many things that are great in my life that I don't even realize I desire or I yearn for. So for me, like the past week, I've just been trying to like meet and hang with friends and chill and hang with my family. And, you know, obviously like it's not crazy to say hang with friends, but for so long, I've been like locked in, like laser focused, where I'll literally see like maybe one friend every week or every 10 days, which, you know, as I mentioned, that's, you know, you got to do that stuff in life, but there's no balance. So now I'm trying to just enjoy what's here while I can. I'm going to be working a lot this week. I've locked out 3 days just to purely work some more. But I think, you know, you guys got to appreciate life for what it is. But, you know, I've hit this patch lately where I became a bit more nihilistic, which I don't like. But I came to the conclusion that like nothing matters. There is no purpose. There's no intrinsic purpose. I'm sure we have a fate or like God's will, but there is no actual predetermined purpose. And that's scary to think about, because you might be like, man, nothing fucking matters. But even if that's the case, that means you create the purpose. You create what matters. This dude I met at Fashion Week has a brand called Cynical. His name was Dan. And so I bought the sweater. And like, I don't think it was useless. I don't think it's like, oh, he just made it to sell it. Because that authenticity will resonate. That's kind of my point. Like, you find the purpose. And if you're looking for no purpose, like what you focus on is what you see. If you look for red, well, then whenever I look at New York City, I'll just see red lights. If you look for blue, you see the blue, like too yappy or too spiritual. But I'm just trying to speak my truth. And I think it's important because I think this is the truth of everyone. I think the most divine power is inside the mind, the plane of mentalism. What you think like is sort of tied to reality. All is the mind. A plane that was formed in the mind, the telephone, someone thought of that. Like this all starts in the mind. So if you don't know what you're supposed to do, or if you're like lost, or you're trying to find your way, I'll just ask you to do this. Sit with yourself, listen to your thoughts, maybe journal out. But I think intrinsically, subconsciously, you know what's best. Your intuition will tell you. You know, there's a nudge in your head. And you have the bad voice and you have the good voice. And, you know, if you continue to feed that negative voice, then you'll just see all the negative. But if you continue to feed the positive voice, well, then that will win. And it's not just like, oh, be positive. Yeah, everything's positive. No bullshit like that. That dude's fucking honking. He's a dickhead. That's not positive. But at the end of the day, you know what's best. You know what's best for yourself. Find what you want to do and just lock in on that, you know. I think we're all meant to have this divine freedom. I think God created us, of course, to transcend, but in part also to enjoy the earth he created. You know, food, you could be gluttonous or you could enjoy a meal. And I think that's kind of what life's about. So live the life you love, chase after what you want, and just know it could work out. You know, it might not be 1 month, might not be 1 year, maybe not even 5 years, depending how big your goal is, but you'd be surprised how you could reach it. So I think I'll end it here because I've been yapping. I don't know how long it's been. I hope the sunset was nice. When I got here, the sky was like purple or pink, but I don't fucking know. But I'll just preface this. I guess one, could you let me know in the comments, like, does this make any sense? Are you a creative? Are you a creative already on your journey? Or you're unsure where to start? Or you're unsure what to do? I'm genuinely just curious, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, you have to do this and this and this. But what I will do is I'll try to respond to everything, and I'll just give my experience. And hopefully that helps you at least get your foot out the door to start your journey. For me, I think freedom is the biggest thing. The fact that I could move to Asia is like, I don't know, it's a cool thing to me. I've been to Asia once for 10 days, and I don't know what I'm getting into, but that's part of the fun. And I have everything online, so I'm not super worried. The good part about New York is being able to meet people and just go to these sick events. But they have that in Japan, they have that in China. I think I've been closed-minded, and while I love New York, I'll have to see the rest of the world. So on that note, I'll be off. So just let me know in the comments your thoughts, your own personal experience, and I'd love to get to it. But beyond that, I'll just say peace.